I'm joined today by Professor Jeffrey Sachs. Jeff is a university professor at Columbia University, an author of best-selling books, and advisor to UN Secretaries General. And I'm going to ask him what he thinks the future of global sustainable development might look like in a post-COVID world.
I hope we get to a post-COVID world first and soon, because the mismanagement in the United States and elsewhere has been profound. We're badly governed. We're badly divided globally. We were not able to confront this epidemic in a scientific and sensible manner so far. And we have even more complex challenges like fighting human-made climate change. So I am for a holistic, integrated approach to economic development that ensures people can meet their needs and environmental sustainability. That's the package of sustainable development: economic progress, social justice, and environmental sustainability. But it's a complicated agenda that requires cooperation and sensible politics.
Do you think this moment of COVID that we are all living through, will it have the effect of focusing our attention or diverting our attention away from this notion of integrative sustainable development?
This is a huge shock to global society, and what history shows is that huge shocks can be followed by further disaster, as after World War I, or can be followed by constructive change, as after World War II. I think a lot is in the balance right now, and it's pretty much a close call. My own view is that Donald Trump is an utter disaster for the United States and the world. And if he stays in power, I'm afraid we're likely to see a very, very dark scenario of conflict. If he is ousted from power, things could look a lot brighter soon. So I have to give a pretty political answer, because in an unstable moment like this, and this is about as unstable and uncertain as it can be, a lot depends on politics.
What in these times of COVID has surprised you?
About 2 billion people, China, Japan, Korea, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Vietnam, Laos, PDR, Cambodia, the countries of the Asia Pacific, Australia and New Zealand, add to that list, have largely suppressed or contained the epidemic. They've shown the way. They've shown how effective public health can work. This is very important. It shows this virus can be contained. So what is shocking is the mass failure to contain the epidemic in so many other areas. Western Europe has done quite miserably. The United States, awful. Mexico, Brazil, terrible. And now, as we speak in August of 2020, it seems that the virus is spreading rapidly in India and in other parts of South Asia. So what is amazing is the remarkable diversity of outcomes.
Any thoughts on the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals? Have they become irrelevant today, or have they become even more relevant for tomorrow?
The Sustainable Development Goals are specific targets for 2030. SDG 3 says that every person should have access to healthcare. SDG 4, every person, every child should have access to education. One can take out a spreadsheet or an economics model or a management model and ask how to accomplish that specific goal. As a technocrat, that's what I do. And I say, here is a path from here to 2030. If only politics behaved in that manner, that one took the goal, set the path, and then undertook the policies and investments to achieve it. Of course, in the United States, because of Trump, we don't even talk about the goals. And when it comes to very specific targets, for example, climate safety, the attitude is simply to reject the premise itself. So we're living in a world of designed irrationality, which is not a kind of world that one actually achieves specific objectives. Not every country is as poorly governed as the United States right now, so I don't give up. But this is the real challenge, how to have a logical public policy.
If you were to receive a surprise call right now from Donald Trump asking for advice, what would you say to him?
I would first advise him to resign. But if he rejected that, I would tell him what I've been telling him, as it were, in quotation marks, through op-eds throughout this entire crisis. Look to the successes, understand the best practices in public health, wearing face masks, physical distancing, contact tracing. Apply these practices because they work. If he was really listening, I might not call him personally incompetent, inept, and malevolent, but this is actually the case, unfortunately.